Guys, welcome to Sunday from Canada. Yeah, thanks for the nice messages from when I got back to Canada this week. Well, the week just gone. It's taken a while to get over the jet lag, but boom, we're back in it now. So let's have a look. If you're wondering, Pickering Footbridge, the world record longest bridge in the world, covered footbridge. Yep, goes across the 401 in Pickering. Anyway. Trojan horse. This hate speech thing that Trudeau wants to bring in to stop people from saying things that he doesn't like. Now, hate speech is what you make of it. It's I could say something to someone and they could just say, well, I hate what you just said. So hate speech is a personal thing, to be honest. But how? Yeah, well, you got to see this. We're strengthening online protections for Canadians. Keeping kids safe, and holding web giants accountable for the content they host. This was on the Liberal Party X page, and this is what they posted. Support our plan to protect Canadians online, keeping kids and Canadians safe online. What? So what they're doing, they're making this a child thing. They're making it so that, hey, it's keep your kids safe, even though they won't do the over 18 thing for the P hub thing, like Polyev has mentioned. They want to keep kids safe, although they don't want to keep kids safe that safe, just safe enough so that they can also censor Canadians. Sono said on X, you are using Bill C-63. That's the hate speech bill that they want to push forwards and push onto us, onto the internet, and make the internet almost impossible to put anything that you don't agree with the government, anything that does not align with what the government wants is going to get, banned. As a Trojan horse under the guise of protecting kids. This will give you more control over Canadians with censorship. And that's the thing. They're gonna push this as being child-friendly internet that they're gonna cover. The government wants to parent your children. So why can't parents sort out the online thing? Why can't they set the iPads to no over 18 content? No, the government want to take control of your children again. They just love to take control of absolutely everything. If you need to do something, the government would rather you ask them first, and then if it's fine to do it, go and do it. Huh? That's the government. That's what they want to do. They want to control your lives. This is before they even start bringing in digital ID and start giving you credits for being good, or negative credits for being bad. Like running maybe a YouTube channel that doesn't totally agree with everything that Trudeau and Freeland and Stephen Criminal Gilbo wants to do. Maybe. Allegedly. Anyway, fee capital investments say, that's the parents' job. Exactly. Just what I'm saying. You are implementing online censorship, a tool of communists. How long before we get fined or jailed for talking against the Liberals? Exactly. Once this is pushed in through the Senate and pushed in as a law, then they'll just twist it. They'll twist it to knock people like me quiet. No more programs to say, hey, I don't like this. This isn't very good. You won't be able to say that anymore. You'd just be the CBC saying, hey, look what Trudeau's doing. It's brilliant. It's going to save children and whales and small fishes in the sea. They're all going to live forever. No, it's not. It's not going to save anything. It's just going to make Trudeau look more like a dictator. Fuck you, said. Fuck you. I have to remember that. I'm tired of our government doing everything that we don't want, while never doing things that we want. Nobody asked for more censorship. We asked for our cost of living to go down. We asked for help with our growing homeless situation. We asked for a ceasefire. Yeah, they wanted a lot of things. And one of the things that, well, we want a lot of things. We want those things. We want those things. We want things. We want things, but we don't want the things that Trudeau's giving us. We want things like our charters of rights. Here, freedom of expression, number one on our charter of rights. Number two, the right to a democratic government, not a Trudeau Singh coalition. No, just a democratic government that governs while not actually being fully integrated into our lives and telling us exactly what we have to do and what we can and can't do, and also think police, telling us what we can and what we can't think. 3, the right to live and seek work anywhere in Canada. 4, the legal right of people accused of crimes. Well, most people accused of harsh crimes like gun crime and stuff, they definitely get the lighter end of the stick here. They're out on bail within hours. 5, the rights of Indigenous peoples. Yep, and we shouldn't be sending money abroad. We should be sending money up north, and we should have the water situation sorted up there by now. And yeah, let's keep reinvesting in roads, because we need roads to connect these Indigenous areas together even more. 6, the right to equality, including gender equality. Yeah, we've got that. We've got that under the most inclusive flag in the world. It's called the Canadian flag. That's the most inclusive flag in the world. Yet you look on CTV News and they've got a post like this saying, Facebook whistleblower calls Canada's online harms bill one of the best proposed today, through CTV News. Listen, if I did a poll, we're going to look at some polls I did later in the comments, but if I did a poll, I bet 99.99% would say that this is not the best bill that Canada has the Liberal Party have proposed to date. I bet you. I'll do a poll. I'm going to do a poll next week on this. Maybe Tuesday I'll do a poll, and let's see if you guys agree with what the CTV News are saying, that Canadians are saying. So the Liberal Party page goes on to say, we're protecting kids from online harms and holding big tech companies accountable for the content they host. Parents are already doing that. Parents are already doing all of that. We do not need the government to tell us how to bring up our kids, and we do not need the government to tell us what we need to think. So let's move on to the comments. Before we do the comments, when I got back, I had some bills to pay. And carbon tax is now $26.27 on my most recent bill. Yeah, that's the biggest fee of all the fees on my bill. The next one to that is the delivery through a pipe. And then customer charge, $22. Oh, and gas supply charge, $24. The biggest one is $26 for the carbon tax. And they call it a carbon charge, again, like I've said before, so that they can then charge HST tax on it. So they charge tax on the tax. Huh? Since when was that a thing? Let's have a look at some comments from Harper warned us about Trudeau. He did. Harper was pretty clued in about what Trudeau was going to do to Canada. And yeah, that video just pointed out what Harper was saying, and you guys agreed. M. Camp said,
Harper was a real leader and warned us about Trudeau's deficits and his lack of basic knowledge about almost anything.
He did. Harper warned you and warned us about Trudeau. Peter says,
Anyone who lived through his so-called father's reign warned everybody about his so-called son's atrocity to come.
Yeah, look at the size. Look at the size of the deficit we've got now. Look at the cost of the food. Coming back from England and looking at food in Aldi and Lidl, and then we don't have a really heavily discounted grocery store here. We're just stuck with the Sobeys, Loblaws, No Frills. No Frills is just definitely not as cheap as it used to be. Food basics. I go into the store, a loaf of bread's $5. Like a loaf of bread in England is £1.50p. Right? That's like $2.75. It's half the price. Food in England, in the shop, in the stores, it's half the price. Everything in food is half the price. Although I wouldn't move back to England. It's just not as clean and nice, and I love Canada. Canada is an awesome place to live, but I definitely wouldn't move back to England. I'm so happy I'm back in Canada. The only thing about Canada is the government, but we can change that. hopefully.
Dawn says, never liked Trudeau, never trusted Trudeau, never voted Trudeau.
No, I don't think it. Most, actually, yeah, people did vote for him right at the very beginning, but we didn't. We voted for a minority government. We voted almost conservative, but just didn't get there. And then Singh jumped in, and he made it a majority. Scott says,
I still cannot believe Canadians voted for Trudeau after stating the budget will balance itself and we will grow the economy from the heart out. Reap what you sow, Canada.
people were suckered in by him, but this shouldn't be suckered in again. This should not happen again. No way should it happen again. Rupert said,
Trudeau was not ready, isn't ready, and never will be ready. He should resign.
so let's have a look at a couple of the polls. So this poll is, should we rename Pierre Trudeau Airport? Yeah, his support for World War II criminals is rife. So should we rename Trudeau Airport? Well, 99% of you said yes. 1% like donuts. And I don't know who you are. Leave me a comment. The 1% who said that you really like the airport to stay as Trudeau Airport. Comment below. We want to hear from you, Mr. 1%. Okay, so there was a few comments on that. Basement banter. I love that name. Basement banter. That's cool.
Once Trudeau is gone, we're going to have to add a course to history to teach future generations how horrible their Trudeaus really are, so they do not repeat this cycle again. Wayne said, the name Trudeau is cursed in Canada forever.
Move on to the next poll that I did. Would you sit and have a beer in a bar with Trudeau? Now, why did I do that poll? Because Trudeau put a post and a poll. Well, he said the results of a poll on X, and he said that most Canadians would want to sit in a bar and have a drink with him. I don't know about that. So I did our poll, and I thought, let's have a look. Let's see what happens. Now, there's a twist in this poll that I'll get to in a minute. But 85% said they would choose Pierre Poilievre. 13% said they would just go alone. We got our 1% donut people. Donuts is just, if you're not sure, but you want to see the result of the poll without messing with the poll, just press donuts and have a look, and you can see. You could always change your vote later if you want to. 1% said yes, but out of that 1% that are saying yes, most are saying that they want to meet him for alternate reasons. I can't say on YouTube because, we don't want any hate speech on here, guys. Anyway, Newer says,
I think we should publicly shame anyone who would still vote for Trudeau.
Chris said,
Yeah, I'd have a beer with him to tell him what a detriment he is to Canadians and tell him how out of touch he is as a mini dictator. I would probably end in a bar room.
Fisticuffs. Brad said,
I wouldn't be caught dead sitting with Trudeau. Tim said, the way most Canadians are feeling these days, they'd have a beer with Turd Boy just to get close enough. Just saying.
it's a bit of a long video today. Glad to be back. Glad to be back in Canada, but not back to the dictatorship that Canada is suffering from. So let's keep pushing. Let's keep pushing. Let's get this. Let's get an election. Let's get an election soon. Come on, let's do it. Let's have an election. We can't do anything, can we? We're waiting for Trudeau to do it or Singh. No confidence election. Let's have it, please, soon. Till next time.